This dad broke the internet. Weight loss on only junk food. I remember seeing this online and thinking, what is going on with the world? This guy only ate for 10 weeks Twinkies, Oreos, Doritos, pure junk. He actually calls it the Twinkie dad. And the mad thing is, he actually lost 27 pounds in that 10 weeks. It all sort of sounds like BS, right? But it actually exposed that so much of the dieting culture till 2010 was so off the mark, and I'm actually going to explain how that is the case. There's a few things the viral headlines didn't really tell you, and I'm going to break them down in this video. But firstly, let's backdate it here and explain the actual Twinkie diet and what it was all about. So in 2010, there was a nutrition professor called Mark Hobb. He was from like Kansas University in the States, and he just wanted to prove that a calorie deficit, no matter the foods, would still make you lose body fat. So what he done was he worked out his maintenance calories of like 2,600 and said, I'm just gonna eat 1,800 calories every day for 10 weeks of just complete garbage. It was mainly Twinkies. It was absolutely insane to see. And I remember reading the results and being like, what? The guy lost 27 pounds. And not only that, his health markers actually improved, which is what shocked me the most. His body fat dropped by around a third in total, from 33% to like 25%. That's insane. On top of that, all the stuff the doctors tell you they want whenever you lose fat, he got that from just eating sugary snacks. Now, although some health markers improved, they didn't measure the likes of hormones and other things going on. For example, like how he mentally felt eating all that sugar. Also the fact that if you're a gym bro like me and you actually want to keep your muscle, how really beneficial is it going to be eating very low protein and eating that much carbs? And there's so much research since then that show that like highly ultra processed foods, the likes of Twinkies, the likes of Oreos, lead to a higher calorie diet over the long term. This is because you're way more likely to crave them once you start eating them. Now, what is the take homes from this? And I'm not just gonna say it's just a calorie deficit. What I wanna highlight is the fact that since 2010, there's been loads of research on processed foods. And what they found is that people that eat a lot of ultra processed foods typically struggle to lose body fat because they're so calorie dense. And on top of that, if the majority of your calories are made up for like carbs and fats rather than likes of protein, your hunger is gonna be higher. And you're more likely if you're dieting hard on like an 800 calorie deficit like this, to lose that muscle that you worked so hard to build. And the best part is, Mark himself even admitted the diet was not ideal. I reckon his teeth were feeling that amount of sugar after 10 weeks. And I think fitness culture online takes the piss for this a bit now. It's all about just calories. So if you're eating X amount of calories in a deficit, you'll lose weight. But the thing is, you want to really just lose body fat. And whenever he didn't measure his muscle mass, the hormones, and whenever we look at his mental state during this, I can guarantee it wasn't in a good capacity. Because with ultra processed foods, that low satiety would have made the diet so much harder. He probably done this out of pure stubbornness to prove a point. And it was also like a marketing gimmick to an extent. Do you remember people like Subway Jerry who only ate Subway and lost like 100 pounds? This was all like new and like, oh my God. And then now we have almost the exact opposite where everyone knows this and is leaning towards that. As long as it fits in my calories, it's good. But in reality, that's not actually going to give you the best results. And this is where people end up frustrated. So here's what you actually want to do instead if you're looking to maximize your results aesthetically and look the best you possibly can. What I want you to do is look at having, say, 5 meals a day, and you do want 4 of the meals to be good, and the other one, I wouldn't necessarily say is bad. If you're going to have it sugar-based, try to have it pre or post-workout. Research sort of backs that this is like the most optimal time to have sugar, because if you have it pre-workout, it's gonna give you an energy boost. You're not really gonna get the same crash. You're gonna fuel up your muscles for the workout, and this is shown to actually help with strength. And then on the other side, we have the post-workout where sugar can be a good benefit. This is why you see a lot of bodybuilders have cereal and protein post-workout, because the sugar spikes insulin. That lets the carbs go into the muscle along with the protein to help the recovery process start happening. It means then you're pretty much getting fueled up again for the next session. So in reality, the 80-20 is still a really good rule, and it's overall gonna be one of your best approaches. But I think timing that 20% makes a massive difference rather than say having a Mars bar, a bag of Skittles, or a load of Twinkies before bed where sugar spikes, insulin spikes. And when insulin spikes, this is what a lot of people do not know, growth hormone goes down, right? Because they work in counter fashion. But if you have a high carb, high sugar meal, it's less likely to release as fast, and then your recovery can actually be impaired. This is why a lot of people would recommend not eating too close to bed. But it's the same if you have a lot of processed sugar close to it, it can actually impact your recovery. So timing that 20% is something a lot of people don't tell you, but can make a difference to overall results. If you're looking to feel good, look good, perform your best, keep your hormones in check, and not run a nutrient deficiency, because if you're a dad, and one of the biggest things is you want to be in a calorie deficit, not a micronutrient deficit. And you want to try and time these things to make it as easy as possible, because if you're sleeping good, you're recovering good, the energy's good, everything you eat you enjoy, it makes the entire process better. And this is where a lot of people try and just fit in foods they love, which I'm all for, but then they compromise making the diet easy, and that's gonna make the adherence even harder. It's a balancing game you're gonna have to play around with and find out what works best for you. This is why I will always recommend a meal plan, because it reduces stress. It's the same food you can order online every single week. It makes the process easier. And when adherence becomes easy with routine, it actually makes the process a lot easier than you trying to fit in all these fancy recipes and these really calorie dense foods all the time that, yeah, might curb your craving for a second and say balance, but in reality, they make the entire process much harder. So the takeaway I want you to take from this is that calories in, be calories out matter, but these small changes are the difference between you adhering to a diet long-term and building a lifestyle you love. Because for me, I've actually never noticed more results than when I got my health in check as well. So instead of just eating any fats, I'll have monounsaturates. We're talking peanut butter, we're talking avocado, dark chocolate, because this is gonna give me the best growth hormone release. It's gonna keep me in optimal fashion. And that's so important if you're looking to grow. The likes of carbs that are complex, you're talking oats, you're talking fruits, full of micros or slow releasing, so my energy is good throughout the day. And then protein sources that actually will stimulate muscle protein synthesis, really, because if you're making up your protein with the likes of like bread and random things and not getting a complete amino acid profile, which you see a lot of the time, it's people going, well, this piece of bread is 3, this piece of bread is 3, and they're adding little bits up. I find that this doesn't give the same results, even though people will say total daily protein is the same. That's absolutely fine based on research. This is just what I see. The healthier you eat, the better you feel, and that makes the entire process easier because you gain more muscle and you lose fat faster. The only caveat is if you remove all sugar, you might be like, well, what's the point in living? So I usually refrain from just consuming sugar all the time, but I guarantee you, if you play around with this, you'll find a balance that suits you, and fitness should always complement your life, not complicate it. And look, that's all we have for today. I'm not going on no Twinkie diet, I can tell you that. I do like a little bit of cereal post-workout or a couple of Skittles pre-gym, just give me that boost. I'd be very interested to know, like, what's your guilty pleasure? Like, drop that in the comments. And as usual, I would really appreciate if you share this with somebody who would get value from it. And please, Twinkies are overrated anyway. You know that, I know that, they're not great. I'll see you in the next one. Big love, I appreciate it.